guys. I'm your host, Super Ninja Austin here, back with another SNA podcast video. And this is episode 33 of the AEW Dynamite Review Part 5. And yeah, episode 33 SNA podcast. I should have been more specific about that. My apologies. But let's move on. We're gonna start off today's video. We're gonna move on today with Jon Moxley taking on Big Bill. And man, this was a very bloody mess. Because when Jon Moxley during the match, Jon Moxley got busted open, and it looked like if he got hit with like a steel chair or some kind of a barbed wire weapon, like a barbed wire baseball bat or broom. But yeah, I was like this was very unusual for Jon Moxley, like for being a normal one-on-one contest, even though the stipulation was the only stipulation was the championship being on the line. But yeah, it was still really good to watch. Like, it was very entertaining with the former WWE stars locking horns against one another for the international title. And then let's start off with what went down. We start off with Jon Moxley started forearming the absolute shit out of Big Bill. This is where Big Bill hits him with an uppercut and pushes him like a piece of paper. This is where he started attacking him and then wiggling his arms and dancing, probably mocking Jon Moxley. I don't know, or it could be some other wrestler that he's probably he could be in the future programming, which I don't know who that could be. It's where he started chopping him probably more harder than Gunther ever done. Even though I use this analogy way too often, but when he chops him, he did exactly like harder, and you could probably hear it probably across the world from that chop. Well, I'm kind of exaggerating across the world. You could probably you could have heard that like if you were watching the match anyway, yeah. And then this is where Jon Moxley started punching and chopping. He tried to go for a crossbody. Big Bill hit him with a fallaway slam. This is when Big Bill started laughing, started shimmying once again. This is when he hit him with a cross splash right onto him, right on the top left team of the turnbuckle corner. This is where he tried to close on him out of the ring. He elbows him, something like we see from WWE 2K23. This is where he started hitting him with clotheslines, but he couldn't be able to bring the 7-footer down. So when his last attempt, he tried to run through the ropes. He knees them into the gut and had him land right on the apron. And when he got up, he booted him right on the outside. And then what else we could see? And then this is where Big Bill took the action of the match out in the ringside area. This is where he started hitting him with axe handles and then started hitting him with right hands. And then repeatedly doing that, Jon Moxley was in a exhausted state. I should describe that. Trying to find the word to describe it, a perfect word, but yeah, he was in an exhausted state. This is where he started coming back, started hitting him with punches, headlocking him, and then walking him towards the corner of Barry Barricade, but instead he got ran right through Barry Barricade, and then he went and he fell right onto the cover of the Barry Barricade. And then this is where they took this back in the ring. Let's see right here. But yeah, he took this in the ring. This is where Ricky Starks tried to get involved. And then this is when Bryan Danielson even the odds and keep Ricky Starks busy of not trying to get involved in the match, and help his 7-foot bodyguard Big Bill get the dishonest victory. So he tried to Irish whip him right to Simba the steel steps. He get hit and right through that bad arm that he had that he sustained that injury from that match against Kazuchika Okada that kept him out of action for the past 3 months, I believe. For the past 3 months. But anyways, that's what happened. And then Excalibur pointed that out. That was the injured arm that he got hit, Irish whipped and hit right through Simba the steel steps. This is where the match was, the action still was happening. This is where John Moxley hits him try to go for the mid-rope axe handle. This is where Big Bill caught him. He hit him with the most huge and longest chokes, the hugest and longest. I would say hugest is not a big word. I'll say the most huge and longest choke slam I've ever seen from any man that would do in a match. Like any man that could have possibly, even over Kane, Big Show, and Undertaker. And then he got him to 1, he got him to 2. And how could you not? It was a pinch of a finger, and he nearly got to 3. And then this is where he tried to. That's when he kind of got frustrated. This is where Big Bill tried to do another move, but John Moxley turned into a triangle choke. This is where he tried to pick him up and do a counter power bomb right to him. And then this is where Ricky Stark tried to intervene and get involved, but Bryan Danielson was there to hold him back and keep him from doing any dirty work for the 7-foot for the 7-foot man. And then this is where he tried grab him, but he put him. He was going back down. He was slowly but surely fading, and he had no choice but to tap out. And John Moxley is still the AEW International Champion. I would say it wasn't that really special, but it was still something to fill in. Like for him being a fighting champion and defending that championship more often, like doing his open challenge. And then next week, he's gonna take on Ray Phoenix. Yeah, take on Ray Phoenix on tonight's Dynamite. I mean, not tonight. Next week's Dynamite at AEW Grand Slam. That's it tonight. No, it's not gonna be tonight. Then that means John Moxley gonna do double duties by defending that international championship, which is the first time I saw any wrestler did that. Because there's no way impossible that a wrestler can defend that title more than once in the most, I'll say in the most strong way, like a strong, tough, dominating way, but without any screwy finishes or overtired champions. But anyways, this is where he had the championship. He retains the championship. And he's gonna face Ray Phoenix next week at AEW Grand Slam Dynamite. Let's move on to the next slide. And then this is when Ricky Stark started attacking him afterwards in the post-match beatdown, even though they weren't in the match, but they were ringside presence in the match. So I guess that counts technically as a post-match beatdown. This is when he's getting pissed off. And then Big Bill clotheslined John Moxley, started hitting him with hands. And this is when Ricky Starks said, this is when he starts hitting him with something, which I believe was his shoe. Yeah. He started hitting him with his shoe. This is where Bryan Danielson came in and helped his Blackpool Combat Club guy by fighting both Big Bill and Ricky Starks, started hitting them with hands. But it was too much for him. The numbers got the better of him because Ricky Starks and Big Bill started outnumbering him. And this when their third man, Claudio Castagnoli, came out and scared him off by hitting them with the fireman's carry, which he tried to hit him with a fireman's carry, which it was very amazing. He had him right on his shoulders, like wow. Like I haven't seen nobody that did a fireman's carry move to a 7-footer since John Cena did so when he defended his WWE Championship against the Great Khali at 2007's One Night Stand. That's what it's called. Yeah, One Night Stand. This is where he tried to choke slam him right off the apron. That's where he got out of his grasp and then hits him with a European uppercut to get him out of his throat. This is where Bryan Danielson and Jon Moxley came in. I mean, he got them up, but Ricky Starks pulled him off the apron. He's like, nope, not today. And then this is where we heard some boos from the fans because they're being like typical heels would do when they don't want to fight in their match. Fight a match just because they don't want to fight. They don't want to fight in not a match, fight in a brawl because they make an excuse that they're going to be like professionals here, but really they just don't want to get their ass beat. Yeah. But yeah, we're going to see about this because there's going to be a match announced, which we're going to hear from the backstage interview from the BPCC. But yeah, just stay tuned for when I talk about that. But this is where they stand up tall thanks to their Swiss best friend, like the former Swiss Cyborg and Superman. But what do y'all think about this latest programming? And what do you think about the Blackpool Combat Club possibly turning back his baby faces? Y'all let me know down in the comments below. We're going to move on to this backstage Renee Paquette interview with Roderick Strong in the Kingdom. And she was asking, like, and he's like, you're gonna later on tonight in the main event, it's gonna be the finals eliminator tournament to see who's gonna face MJF next week at AEW Grand Slam for his AEW World Title. And she was like, and again, like the last time you faced him, Mojo, he nearly ended your career, which hitting him with that Samoan muscle buster really hard on his neck, like which that could not only injure him, but it could do some health concerns. Well, which I wouldn't say it wouldn't do very severe health concerns, but I believe that it's going to be. But I think that Samoa Joe did a very good job trying to end the career of Roderick Strong. And Roderick Strong, he did a really good job playing his heel persona. But yeah, anyways, my point is, he he basically ended his career. But yeah, Roderick Strong, she was like nearly. And this is when Adam Cole tried to talk to Roderick Strong. Adam Cole came in and he's like now listen to me, Roddy. Like I'm gonna be. This is a horrible, horrible idea for you to fight Samoa Joe tonight with your neck still not 100%. Like, remember the last time when y'all faced at the Owen Hart tournament? Like, you may not be lucky this time. He could easily break your neck, and you won't be able to compete in the ring ever again, possibly. And he's like, you know what, Adam? Like the king, like the kingdom believes in me, and you know who the only person that believes in you, and that man is Maxwell Jacob Freeman. And then and he's like, and then tonight I'm gonna break Samoa Joe's back and be on my way for 7 more days from now to become the new AEW World Championship. Well, at least I thought that was gonna happen for tonight, but like spoiler alerts. But I'm gonna talk about what exactly happened and what I have a new theory about what's going to happen next week. But y'all going to have to stay tuned until I talk about the main event later on at the end of this video. So make sure you watch until the very end for that. But anyways, he said he's going to break his back and he's going to be on his way to become new AEW champion. Which I'll say I don't know that's going to happen at least right now. But for those who's watching, yeah, stay tuned. And then for those who don't watch, just watching this, relate what I'm saying, and let me know about your opinions about down in the comments. This is when they stormed off. Adam Cole was shaking his head, putting his hands on his hips. He was like, "Man, like what's gonna make him realize? What's gonna make him realize this?" And he's gonna. Well, what's gonna make him be convinced to listen to me and trying to warn him from not ending his career before ends before he have a chance to have his the spend the rest of his wrestling career and retire on his own terms, like spend on his wrestling for a long time and then retire on his own terms. That's what I probably meant. That's what I probably meant. This is when Renee Paquette said, make sure y'all check out the main event. Back to you guys, to the commentator. This is where Tony Schiavone came out. I mean, this is where Tony Schiavone is in the ring, and he presents Don Callis. He was like, and he was very, it was like he's about to get nauseous before he announced his name. He was like Don Callis, which anybody wouldn't blame. Like he's the most hated. Now let me tell you, he's the most hated heel manager, at least, in all of professional wrestling. Even my own mother called him a Jeffrey Dahmer lookalike, like an older, looking like an older. I would say, let me tell you, he was like an older version of Jeffrey Dahmer, and he's like an older wrestling manager version of Jeffrey Dahmer. He's so evil, yeah. Oh, sorry, my bad. Can you give me 1 second? Sorry, I missed your call. No, you're fine. We're doing fine. I was just doing my YouTube video. It's okay if I call you back? Thank you so much. Yeah. Yep. All right. Talk to you again later on. Yeah. Yes, sir. Bye-bye. But yeah. Don Callis is the most hated guy in professional wrestling. I'll say next to Dominic Mysterio into this statistic in pro wrestling. Like even my mother hates him, and she even calls him a Jeffrey Dahmer lookalike, like an older heel wrestling manager version of him. But anyways, because he revealed the picture, but before he did that, he started rubbing in like he did from last week, like when he announced that he's revealing his masterpiece. And I'll say if he really lives into if he lived in his character in real life, it would be some kind of a psychotic criminal mastermind / murderer because no one couldn't be so merciless. Not even Braun Breaker could be this merciless of trying to kill somebody in the way Don Callis would do it. And he was like, but when the fans started booing him, and then he learned from watching Dominic being booed out of the building, so he started saying like we just beat Kenny Omega twice in 1 week. Now shut the hell up. And then that's what made the fans even more loud and start booing him even more. And he's like, we've been celebrating a lot of wins at the catcher's game, especially with facing. And it's like Like he's the number one guy in every wrestling promotion. They call him the Ace, and then what is it? And he said we have a lot of great aces, but Takeshi's better than all of them aces. Better than Ricky Dozar. Better than better than Sakaguchi. Who else he said? Ricky Dozar, better than Mei Sakaguchi, Doshu, and better than Okada. I was like, if that's the case, then how come he's not being more of a recognizable name in all of professional wrestling? Like whether if it being in New Japan or Pro Wrestling Noah or even AEW. Like, yeah, he probably won a couple of championships, which I don't know. The reason why I knew about him because thanks to AEW, like I do with most of outside wrestling ventures. But even for watching AEW, I see more exclusive things in pro wrestling. But I'll say thanks to these AEW bringing top names like that, you would see plenty more of them in all of professional wrestling outside of WWE, of course. But I'll say if that's the case, I'll say he might have won a couple of championships, but how come if he's all that better than Okada and them, then how come he's not a champion of his own, whether it be from Pro Wrestling Noah, New Japan, or AEW, which I should say AEW first because he's currently under a contract with All Elite Wrestling. You can't say someone's better if they didn't got the huge achievement. And that's the number one thing I got to hand to Roman Reigns and Paul Heyman being the GOAT and the tribal chief. But even though most of the times he have him cheat to win, but when they prove their statement, they do it by Roman Reigns having the most historic title reign as undisputed champion. But even though I'll say he did it honestly. He had to cheat every single match. It's very rare for him to actually win a match through time to time without being a dishonest finish. But yeah, like at least he has a reason why he's bragging that he's better than everybody by being champion or doing the biggest achievement of his wrestling accolade, which that didn't make no sense with Don Callis and Konosuke Takeshita. But anyways, back to him when he said he was like, if you beat Kenny Omega once, they call you the ace, which I would say that's not entirely the case. He beat him twice in 7 days, which I believe Kenny should have won. They call him the alpha. That's what he said. Like if he call you the ace if you beat him once, but beating him twice, beating Kenny Omega twice on All Out the week after All In, you are the alpha of. You don't get to as alpha, not a fake alpha like Jericho was. And I was like, you really have some grievances with Jericho? And then he's like, I have people tell us that we should feel bad for ourselves and be ashamed of ourselves for destroying Kenny Omega. But I actually feel nothing about Kenny, no pity about Kenny Takeshita. And he said, it just felt like weakness to me when I was managing Kenny Omega because in order to be alpha, you take everything that could be taken, and then you take a little more than that. Like, wow, like I know you have to do anything you can to survive, but that doesn't mean you do everything. Like, do something that's like if you're doing something illegal, like if you rob a bank and even murder somebody's mother, like. Without any remorse whatsoever, like you don't have to go too far in order to be recognized. Like you don't do anything to have some publicity. Like, and that's the number one thing you don't learn from guys like Don Callis. Even though he's playing a persona, but it's not the best. If anybody said he's the coolest guy of doing of playing this criminal mastermind gimmick, I would say you must be crazy because there's nothing cool about attempted murder and manipulating and stealing. That's all bad. Like that makes you even worse than the devil. You'll be over the level of the devil. Like, and that's not in a good way or a compliment, let alone a compliment. Yeah, I should say. But he's like, I'll break your heart, Omega. And I promise to to my creation of this painting when my next partner of the Don Callis family is. And the alpha, Konosuke Takeshita, is going to be next. Just like he did with you 2 times in a row, Kenny. And Mr. Omega, this one's going to kill you for sure. And then this is when he revealed the painting. And that's when he said the next target of the Don Callis family is, and then there was a picture with him with Konosuke Takeshita standing right on top of Kenny Omega's longtime wrestling best friend Kota Ibushi, like with a sword on his head, a sword above his head, looked like he's about to decapitate or stab him to death in the head. Which I was like, wow, like that these crime encounters is not going to leave anytime soon in professional wrestling, especially in AEW. For the fact that Don Callis is playing this cold-hearted killer gimmick, but you're definitely going to see that in the crime counter on Ups and Downs. Make sure y'all y'all should probably check that out as soon as he uploads it. Like in American time is like towards the morning or even the afternoon time, but more like in the morning because it's like afternoon, evening time in the UK, like if he uploaded in the morning. But yeah, I was like, he couldn't get more serious than this. Like, he described Kota Ibushi as the former IWGP World Heavyweight Champion and what's that the breathing? What he said in the leaving, breathing heart in Kenny Omega, his best friend Kota Ibushi. And he's like, Konosuke Takeshita's gonna beat him, and I'm a vow while we like when I'm telling you, when we spill Kota Ibushi's blood in the ring, you're gonna be at home helpless, and you're gonna be at home watching like the pathetic cock. Like the pathetic cunt that you are, yeah. And then he put the pin target right onto Kota's head. Like if he's trying to target of getting his head stabbed to death or decapitated, which I believe that's a crime. Like the last time I checked in this society, like you do not execute nobody if they're not guilty. Like, but that's me is Super Ninja Austin's logical persona. Like you think logically, not idiotically. Like, and that's one of my catchphrases, by the way, but I'm not sure if it was necessary for me to explain that. But yeah, what do y'all think about Don Callis being like even more of a cold-hearted, heartless, and backstabbing killer that he is? Like, and what do you think about like about an outcome of his faction against the faction of possibly Jericho and Kenny Omega joining forces against the Don Callis family, like sometime in the next month or two. Like I'm guessing, I'm assuming, of course. But yeah, y'all let me know down in the comments below. We're gonna move on to the next slide. Not a target. No, it's a screwdriver. My bad. He dug the screwdriver right into the patent of Kota Ibushi's head. And I know it's all just part of the skit, but I'm not sure if they should be doing this because they could get a whole lot of criticism from everybody in the wrestling internet community. Just saying, like, not trying to criticize AEW, but I'm just looking at the realistic. Like, but yeah, I'm just saying, like, I would be careful using these slurs of murder mixed in the wrestling storylines just to save a life. Like, I would use them sparingly just to be on the safe side. But yeah, y'all let me know down in the comments. We got a backstage interview with the Blackpool Combat Club's John Moxley, Claudio Castagnoli, and Bryan Danielson. He would talk about escalating. He was like, I'm gonna give you an opportunity, Big Bill and Ricky Starks of facing me and Claudio Castagnoli this Saturday at at AEW Collision, which I believe would probably be a very entertaining match. This is probably going to be the opener. Unless they couldn't find any bigger match to be the main event, I would say main event. But for now, I would say this is like some kind of it's going to be turned into some kind of a 20-minute entertaining opener match. But y'all let me know when that match is specifically what possibly will happen down in the comments below. And then we're going to move on to the next slide. We got. And then this is when John Moxley was on the microphone. I don't mind having a day off. I was and let my boys here fight this battle. And yeah, next week I'm a face Penta. Not Penta. His brother Ray Phoenix, and then I'm gonna do exactly what I did to Big Bill out there and defeat him and retain. And then they also asked about Claudio Castagnoli in the winner takes all match with the Ring of Honor World Championship and the New Japan Strong Openweight Championship going to be on the line. He's like, my boy Claudio going to be doing the same thing when he becomes double champion. And then this is when, this is going to happen 7 days. This is when Ray Phoenix came in and he went straight up to Moxley's face. He pointed at him saying, I'm going to beat you next week and I'm going to become the new international champion. This is when Alex Forentes started holding him back with his brother Penta and security and referees started holding him back. So before they can get into a physical altercation, which maybe it's for the best for that to happen. And then this is when Bryan Danielson starts shouting at him back saying too, he was like, you want to escalate too? You can get what Ricky Starks and Big Bill's about to get this Saturday. And then this is when Eddie Kingston came into the room and then holding his title with Claudio Castagnoli holding on to his title around his shoulders, with them going face to face on who's gonna be the one that's gonna defeat one or the other, going face to face, teasing. Or not teasing, more like hyping up the match, with them not saying nothing, just a stare down. And then that's when Eddie Kingston finally said something. He was like, wait until 1 week. That's all I have to say. And he started laughing like, ha 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 ha. Which I would say that was completely weird. I was even though he's a bit crazy and maybe a bit rude, even my mom noticed this, because of obvious reasons. But yeah, Eddie Kingston, even despite all that, I would say he's going to be the double champion. He's going to win and become double champion, the new Ring of Honor World Champion, by retaining his New Japan Strong Openweight Championship in the process. He's going to be double champion. He's going to also make more exclusive appearances on Ring of Honor, and also, for obvious reasons, and also in New Japan when they book him into the tour, into their next upcoming events, especially the pay-per-views. But yeah, we're going to see next week. And who you think is going to win the double championship match? Is it going to be Claudio or is it going to be Eddie? Y'all let me know down in the comments below, which I believe Eddie, because they've been telling the story where Eddie hates himself, hates Claudio Castagnoli to the point he wants to do something to him that will hurt him the most, which I'm not sure if this will hurt him the most, but him beating him for the Ring of Honor World Championship, which I believe he will just do that just to end their feud in the storyline, which they're going to handshake and give each other that they respect one another respectively. and then this is when their heated rivalry probably ends. But yeah, y'all continue. Let me know down in the comments below what you think about that as well. I think we're gonna move on to the next, which the match is the Fatal 4-Way match, number one contenders match between Dr. Britt Baker, DMD, and Hikaru Shida and Toni Storm and Nyla Rose, which is for the AEW Women's World Championship. And then this is when Toni Storm still started doing this with her hand movement, looking like like I said last week, a Swedish, or a week and a half ago. She's a Swedish opera singing, a female Swedish opera singer in denial of denying any guilty, if she denies like a guilty crime that she committed. Like, I would never do such thing. And I'll say Saraya's right about one thing about Toni Storm is for the fact that she's going loopy and going absolutely insanity, like with their, like, we're going loopy and insane and insanity even with this new in denial persona. But yeah, we're gonna see what's gonna happen, and let's just say this is my only prediction that was correct tonight. Like, and I'm gonna leave it off there, but we're gonna talk about that, like, when we're gonna recap this Fatal 4-Way number one contenders match. I'm gonna get to the point. Let's just say the altercations. All I can say I can remember in this match is like Toni Storm hitting Britt Baker right onto Hikaru Shida, making their rivalry even get more big and heated. I was like, oh boy, this is not gonna look good. Like, and then they are arguing about like them running into each other, and then nearly got into a overboard brawl. Like, it nearly got into an overboard. But Britt Baker teased that she was gonna hit Shida with a super kick, but really she just wanted to make her believe that, but really she was just taunting her. They were arguing, and then this is when they start fighting each other, and then got out of the ring, and I believe Britt Baker was down, and then this is when Hikaru Shida finally hits Nyla Rose with her finishing move, the Katana, which she beaten Nyla Rose about 375,000 times. Like, I can describe, like, how many times, like, because that's how it felt. Like, Hikaru Shida always beating Nyla Rose, and then she nearly beat her once again to become the number one contenders to win back her AEW Women's World Championship, becoming I believe the first ever 3-time champion. But that didn't happen because Britt Baker hit her with a super kick. She hit her with a super kick, but this is when Toni Storm came. This is when Toni Storm came in before Britt Baker was nearly hit her signature move, which was the curb stomp. This is where she intercepts her, hit her with the most devastating move in all of sports entertainment for the 1-2-3. But I'll say, even though I got this right, but I expected that Toni Storm would come in and get involved with. Not get involved. I should say, winning a sneaky win like this on Nyla Rose, pinning her, rather than sneaking Britt Baker with the most devastating move in all sports entertainment. I would expect them to be brawling and fighting, taking it outside, while Toni Storm gets the pin from Rose. But either way, I got the prediction right on who's going to win and who's going to face Saraya for the AEW Women's World Championship at next week's Grand Slam show, which is going to be for the title, of course, and it's going to be live in New York City. Make sure y'all check that out. And then who you think is going to win is we're going to see Saraya retain her AEW Women's World Championship, because it'll be a full year since she made her debut into AEW, which we're going to talk about that more into the next segment, which is the backstage interview with her and Ruby Soho. But we're going to talk about more what happened afterwards. It was a post-match beatdown with Hikaru Shida attacking Britt Baker for for basically costing her opportunity of becoming AEW Women's World Champion. And this is when Hikaru Shida started choking her to death and started choking her to death, started yelling at her, saying like, "What did you do? What did you do?" And this is when she started shoving her. Britt Baker's like, "Stop it! What are you doing?" And this is when she started rolling out of the ring. She pushed her out, and then she was like, "Okay, like you're not gonna listen. Like I'm gonna leave your annoying and ungrateful ass alone." Like, which I believe this is gonna be a heel turn because I don't think Shida has been on the dark side since she made her debut in AEW from the last 4 years, and it looks like this is gonna be the best way that she does that. Even though they were doing great as joining forces against they were doing great teaming together and joining forces against the Outcast, but it looks like good things must come to an end with a new storytelling feud, like with a breaking up alliance, which I'm not sure if there even are specifically a tag team alliance, but it was just an alliance like with them having in common that they hate the Outcast. But yeah, this is where we finally go to the backstage. And then she was asking Saraya about this. Saraya was like, I must give her respect, like that I had to give her some respect. She's like, first of all, Toni Storm, congratulations on your latest victory in this number one contenders match where you can face me at Grand Slam. You did it. And I say I'm proud of you, I guess. But things are different around here because 12 months ago, like I was the new kid on the block here in AEW, and then of course Toni Storm was the AEW Women's World Championship at the time, but she lost the championship, and then you know what? And she said, but you lost it when I was here, being as a regular here, the new regular, and you know what else she lost now? She lost pretty much everything, and she lost everything to me. She lost the championship. She lost her friends. She lost her top spot in the women's division, and that's me now. And then she also lost her mind in denial because she's crazy, Renee. Well, I said the denial part because that's her nickname, the Swedish opera singer in denial, because that's what she seems like. Seems like when she's in denial of have anything against the Outcast, but he's like the match of Grand Slam for the AEW Women's Championship, and she's gonna be left with nothing after I beat her and retain my championship. Okay. And she was like, "Thank you, Renee," and then that's when they move on to the segment with Sammy Guevara and the Ocho Chris Jericho, aka the Least Sex Gods, which we're going to talk about with the bittersweet promo battle moment with these two guys. Where they talk about they were complimenting each other and their respective careers, and then also about the negatives about each other, the negative things. Well, let's begin. We're going to begin with the segment with basically ever since that he's been friends and teaming with Sammy Guevara for the past 4 years, and then when he saw him, he was at the NWA's one of the NWA's events with a panda hat on, the giant panda hat on his head, and And he knew he had what it takes to become a big star into this industry. And then I put him under his wing, I put him under my wing and help him out being on his way. And I'm looking at him now, like, and they showed some memories from the last 4 years of teaming together. And also, it's like over the years, they saw him grow all the way into a man. And then I seen him share. I seen you win championships. I seen you got married. And now you're ready. You're ready with your wife to help her give birth to a new baby daughter. Like, which I was like, wow, that's. I would like to congratulate them, and I'm doing it now. Like, and if Sammy Guevara and Ty Mills watching this SNA podcast, I want to tell y'all. And this is gonna be the thing, and this is gonna be totally out of character for me to tell y'all this. But I would like to say congratulations to being a very loving and happily married couple, and probably gonna have a very adorable children, like probably plenty of them. like if y'all some small loving bunny rabbit couples. But yeah, enough of the jokes. But yeah, I like to congratulate y'all, and I hope y'all stay together for the rest of y'all's life with y'all's future families and in many years to come, and in the foreseeable future, of course. But back into Jericho's promo, or should I say the Sammy's promo? Now, this is when he responded back saying, "Thank you very much, Chris." And I know the typical wrestling thing is come out here and talk some trash about your brother and all, but I don't want to do that. Like, you're my best friend, and truthfully, you inspire me to be. Because and then to prove it, I'm gonna tell you that I used to do code breakers in my mom's backyard, which is a nod that he's been a fan of him ever since he started using the code breaker in WWE. Like, he's been a fan of him into this industry for many years as a kid, like of watching Jericho on TV. And then he also said, like, I want to come out here and have the biggest matches of my life and say thank you, and then tell you that I say thank you to you. And he's like, thank you for changing my life, and thank you for changing so many people's life from the last years. And then because you're the GOAT of AEW, basically. And I was like, yeah, that's true, because he did so much things in AEW, like wrestling many matches and dream matches, and even became the inaugural AEW World Championship. Like, even though you haven't really won that much championships, only one championship after that reign, and that was the Ring of Honor World Championship, which nowadays you would probably say is hardly memorable, but I think it's memorable because I was keep telling us to plenty of family members that have watched Jericho from back in the WWE Attitude Era. They'll be like, yeah, I heard about Jericho being Ring of Honor World Champion, because they was on talk shows. I was like, yeah, like he's still doing it at the age of 52. I was like, or at last year he was 51 when I told everybody this in the family. But anyways, Sammy Guevara, back to Sammy Guevara, he was talking about. And then this is when he had to go mile on Jericho of telling him what is on his mind, maybe in a negative, but it was kind of sort of negative, but it was true. When he was giving him his honest opinion about him, like, I'll say sad and negative, but true. But he was like, to be honest, I didn't came to just become Jericho's sidekick. And then the fans like, oh, and he's like, I came into wrestling to be the man and become the world champion. And I'll make look at I want to do like they do with the guys like Mox and Bryan Danielson and you, Jericho. Like, I'm trying to be that man of being a multi-time world champion. And I know in my heart that's probably not going to happen as long as I'm in your shadow. And so that's why I want this match, to show I'm more than just Jericho's sidekick. And I'm a future world champion in my rights as a professional wrestler. And I was like, like, you got to show it to everybody that you're more than Jericho's sidekick. Like, I knew this guy had much potential from a few years ago. Like, I was like, he's getting very famous, and And I'll say maybe some of it's because of Jericho, but if he tried to be in this wrestling business, but he probably needed some mentoring. Like now, and Jericho was the best mentor that he had into his journey in professional wrestling and in AEW. I should say in AEW alone, of course, because I'm saying professional wrestling perhaps way too much. But anyways, like he did a very good job doing that, and that's what helped him out with his popularity into this industry. And anyway, this is when Sammy Guevara's like, "This is why I need to beat you next week," so that could be a passing. I would say not a passing of the torch. I was like to show that I just beat the most legendary wrestlers in this industry in AEW right now, but all professional wrestling, one of the biggest legends. But this is when Jericho's like, "You're never Jericho's sidekick. Like, you're the main event player. Like, you're the money-making jaw for AEW, and you're getting closer and closer from every single week of that accolade." And then Jericho's like, "That's why I told you months ago. I told you there's either two. If you want to get to the next level, you got to do it inside of Chris Jericho's influence. You got to do it on your own. And the next week, you have the biggest opportunity to do so. And then this is the biggest match of your career. And this is the biggest match of my career as well. And you have to beat me in order to get to the next level, which is the main event level. But if you're gonna beat Jericho, like I have to be the best. I want to see the best Sammy Guevara that you ever been into your wrestling career, and you have to be the better version of yourself if you've ever been before. You gotta do all that in order for trying to beat me." And then Jericho said, "I don't think that you be willing to beat me, not just yet." As I said, Guevara was very pissed, but smile. There was a smile. He was like, "See, this is why I have to beat you, because you don't truly respect me like I respect you." I was like, "Well, I don't know. He may have respect you. He sees you in your potentials as a main eventer, but only if he's mentoring you of being so. Yeah." But yeah, he said, "You don't respect me like I respect you. Like it's what Jericho wants. Like this is what it's been like for the past 4 years. Like, see, but you know what, Chris? Next week, I'm gonna beat you as this man." Not the 2018 me at the NWA 70, not the Sammy Guevara with his panda hat. The man Sammy Guevara that's sitting in front of you right now is going to beat you in 7 days from now. That's why everybody started cheering, because this is successful. And he said, "I'm going to earn your respect, and we're going to shake hands, and we're going to hug, and we're going to win some tag team titles like we promised." And then that's when he pulled out his hand. This is where Jericho shaked his hand. And this is where he pulled him and went face to face. He's like, "Oh, you have what it takes." So I gave it that look, like, "You think you're going to beat me? Like, I would like to see you try." That's what he was looking like. Which I think, if this is that case if this is the truth about what Jericho said, like, you have to show me your best version of yourself, which we're probably going to see that, and he's going to win that match, and we're going to finally see them get the opportunity for the AEW Tag Team Championship. But something had me wonder, like, is there going to be a turn soon? Like, someone's going to turn on the other anytime soon. But that's the remain to be seen. Just make sure y'all continue watching AEW for the foreseeable future, at least until we get some kind of an outcome and an answer. Or can they stay together for long, like as a team, or they're going to split up and then they're going to be bitter rivals and into the foreseeable future, as in a long run future. Like, I don't say long run, I'll say in the foreseeable future, and as we go forward into AEW's storytelling, in their storytelling broadcasting, but into this rivalry. But y'all let me know down in the comments below. But Jericho also said, "I'm gonna give you a match of your life, and I am not gonna be easy on you. I'm going to beat the living hell out of you. And I'm going to expect the same from you too. Now, I'm going to punch you more harder than I ever punch anybody in my entire life. And I expect that's what we say, expect the exact same from you, Sammy. That's when Sammy Guevara was confident. Let's open. And he's like, I don't, and then that's when he responded back to that. I wouldn't want it any other way. And then this is when they made it clear and confirmed until they went back to their cool selves. And also, before it got to seriousness, like into a serious argument between Jericho and Sammy Guevara, like not too I'll say not too personal, but I would say a balance of personal and serious arguing. Like they're arguing. Before I said that, like when they started complimenting each other and showing some respect for one another, Sammy Guevara was like, to be honest, from the last 3 years of listening to the Judas song, like, I don't know none of the lyrics. I was like, are you serious? Like, I can understand that you don't know partially because that sounds like me, because I only know most of the lyrics onto the Judas song. Like, I've been listening to it from the past 4 years, and then just by listening the first time, like it made me starting to be like the rest of the AEW fans that's in the audience singing it, like I become Judas in my mind. I was like, yeah. Like I just know it by heart, just by listening to it, and even the first time, it just helped. I just know the lyrics just by listening to that one time, and then just singing along while listening to it. Yeah, like the rest of the fans, and if I ever went to an AEW show, I'm definitely gonna sing along that song, like I do every time I watch AEW Dynamite, like when Jericho comes out and enters the ring. But I don't know how Sammy Guevara, like he even mumbled the song. I was like, why need? That's one thing, yeah, you did not know at first, but we're hearing it from the last 4 years. You can at least know something from the song. Like, after all, Jericho's the one that sang the song from Fozzy, and even if it wasn't, you probably would have. It would have been catchy to sing along. But yeah, what y'all think? Like, do you think Jericho's song is very catchy and contagious? Like, y'all let me know down in the comments below. But up next we have, this is where we got a backstage interview from Renee Paquette with MJF. This is when I think he was sending a message to Samoa Joe saying the size of the dog, and the size of the dog, like the people, like I don't know nobody, like he's like in 7 days, which I should say next week, I should say, because that's what he specifically said. He said like in next week, like Samoa Joe, I'm praying to God that you do win, and when you do win, I'm gonna let him make a promise, make it crystal clear. If you wrestle me, I am going to choke you out. I repeat, if you wrestle me, and on my life, then I'm going to choke you out. And if you don't believe me, let me get through thick, fat skull with some simple math. And see, normally people, the rest of your 50-50 chance of winning. And then he said, I'm not generic. There was plenty of references into this percentages of the statistic. Like he said 50. Usually, normally, there's other wrestlers come do 50-50, which that's a reference to WWE have a reputation of doing 50-50 booking into their rivalries most of the times. And he said generic freak, which is probably a reference to Scott Steiner of his time with Big Papa Pump in this feud in TNA Impact. You have to try best to beat me. Watch my back. You will drastically go down. he's like, imagine a Grand Slam. He's going down the list about who's got the 25%. He got 75%, while Samoa Joe got 25%. Or either way, I have even if I have 35% and you have 30%, I will still choke your ass out and blah blah blah. And this is when Renee Paquette was like, hey, how is he putting this all together? Like he's either a complete mental case or some kind of a talented mathematic genius that is like the most hated guy. Like that's an evil mastermind himself, but not as much as an evil mastermind than Don Callis is, but enough to be some kind of a smart evil mastermind, just to be in the smart that knows his math. I was like, wow, like it's either crazy, mentally insane that does not, he's just putting words and numbers together, or is he or he knows what the numbers are, like, or both. But either way, I think the 50-50 was a nod to WWE, and I'll say, and I'm not sure if this is going to bring him to WWE or not in 2024, but we're going to see by January of 2024, where is he going to sign his next upcoming wrestling send the wrestling contract with the higher bid, because he said he wants to go to a wrestling company as a higher bid. It don't matter which professional wrestling company, but yeah, I thought I might point that out, but I'm gonna continue with. You got I have a 62/3 of winning. You realize you not win, Mojo. You can take a 33 to 31, but not 25 chance, and you get a 34 that Grand Slam. Like a 10 to 75%, and then the wrestling, and then New York, and then you got 66 and 2/3 chance. I got to win a 2% chance of winning at Grand Slam and retain my champion. And see, Joe, the numbers don't lie. A disaster, and it won't be a disaster like you. I'm like, that's true, but how you know this, like, by heart, like, of knowing how many chances of win? I mean, once you're in the wrestling industry, you probably understand where MJF's coming from, because sometimes you will know the numbers into the statistics in professional wrestling. Like once if I become a wrestler myself, I would understand that as well. But did you understand any of what MJF said in that quick? Easy math, this little wrestling math that he was doing? Y'all let me know down in the comments below. I would love to hear that from you guys, because I did not know, other than the 50-50 chance. And he's like, I'm going to kick your ass, Joe. And he's like, and then Adam Cole shouts disaster with a huge grin. And then this is when MJF said, because I am better than you. And then Adam Cole's like, baby, which is their catchphrase. Which their tag team catchphrase, of course, and their tag team name. And then this is when Renee Paquette's like, okay. And they gave a fist bump as well. And then this is when Taz was like, I believe that math comes straight out of the University of Michigan, which I'm not sure if MJF went to that university for him to know that, but he just this is probably a nod to somebody. I don't know, I don't know nobody that does math like that, any wrestler. Unless it could be someone from Michigan that Taz probably knows, that's from ECW. Whether if it being a man that does this or that does a spear that's called the gore. But we're going to talk about that, more probably in the wrestling news in less than 24 hours from now. But let's move on to the next slide, which we have Brian Cage taking on Hangman Adam Page. And man, this was a very decent rubber match. I'll say it's not like if it deserves the main event spot, but it had a lot of memorable moments. Like when Brian Cage spine busted, like when the last time he faced him in the match back in 2021. Or 2021, he spine busted in that exact same spot in that top left, not barricade, but rear of the ring post. And then there was even some nods to a certain WWE Hall of Famer that had that induction this year. They had the Hall of Fame induction this year that Hangman Adam Page did, which it could You might think that he learned this from Brian Cage, and he's probably still in his move, but the way he did it, it looked like he was paying tribute to this certain Hall of Famer in WWE, that's still active competitor. When he tried to go for a power bomb, but Hangman Adam Page hurricane rolling through the ropes with him hanging his head and his arms right into the ropes. And does that look familiar? If I haven't already guessed already, like this knot is obviously the underdog and the current United States champion himself, Rey Mysterio. Because he hits him with a hurricane right to the ropes, and then he runs right into the other side of the rope. He swings his knees and kicks him right into the face. I was like, how you cannot like if this is not a reference and a tribute to him, I don't know what is. Like, how could you not? Like, coincidence? I don't think so. But what do y'all think about that spot that Hangman Adam Page did? Like, y'all let me know down in the comments below, but we're gonna. But yeah, this is where we had a continuous headlock from Brian Cage after all that. This is where Hangman Adam Page counters it. He hits him with a forearm. This is when Brian Cage started hitting him with left hands, and then this is when he laid him right into the other side. And then this is when Hangman Adam Page kicks him right in the head. This is when Hangman Adam Page go for a clothesline, but Brian Cage swings him around and hits him with a full Nelson slam, which only gave him a 2.8.9 second count. This is where, and then also Swerve Strickland was in the stage area watching the match, like front and center. This is when Prince Nana was trying to coach Brian Cage of hitting a move that's gonna knock him out that he would usually do to all his victims where he said that he beaten before. This is when he started hitting forearms, but Hangman started firing back with forearms of his own. This is when Brian Cage was getting the boo forearms while Hangman Adam Page getting the cheer. And Hangman Adam Page is finally getting over once again. And I think this guy should win the AEW World Championship. Unfortunately, it may not be this year, it may not be next year. But in the next upcoming couple of years, with their new deal that they signed, before this next deal expires, they should make him AEW World Champion once again, at least one more time before it comes up. And who knows, he might be probably going to sign with WWE by the time when his next contract signs, because rumor has it they signed another 4-year or 5-year deal, which is probably going to keep him around until 2027 or 2028. But that's a story for another day. But anyway, Hangman Adam Page, go for him. Try to go. Let's see what Hangman Adam Page was doing. This is where he runs up. This is where Brian Cage hits him with a power slam. He tried to go, and he rolls over him. He tried to go for a mid-rope moonsault, but Hangman Adam Page rolled out of the way before he has a chance of moonsaulting him. This is when Hangman Adam Page slowly but surely came back up, but Brian Cage tried to get more offense on him. This is when Hangman Adam Page counters. He was like, "Come on, bring more fight." This is when he start punching him. This is when everybody started saying, "Yeah, yeah, yeah, yeah." And no, they weren't shouting out for LA Knight, but they were very invested into this match because they were cheering on Hangman Adam Page and they wanted him to win. And then he clotheslined him out of the ring. This is when Swerve Strickland was staring at him in the mugging face. This is when Brian Cage had his back turned with one knee up and the other knee down. This is when he finally got back up. This is when Prince Nana started shouting at him, like, "Get back in the ring and stop him." And then that's when Hangman Adam Page was like, "Go for a crossbody." This is when he tried to catch him and put him over his shoulder. But before he did that, he started doing some trying to do some curls onto Hangman Adam Page. But Hangman Adam Page flips out of it, hits him with a crucifix slam. This is when or crucifix pump, like what Excalibur said. But this is when Brian Cage rolled out of the ring. Hangman Adam Page tried to go for a dive. Let's see right here. This is where he dived his legs and hit him with a sliding kick into Brian Cage's face and then in the rest of his upper body. This is where he tried to go for a top rope moonsault like Charlotte Flair, which he successfully hits. I'll say this was very rare for I've seen Hangman Adam Page successfully execute a move like this. It was so perfectionate with this move. It was probably more perfectionate than Charlotte Flair. This is when Hangman Adam Page threw him back in the ring. This is where he tried to go for a crossbody. This one only got him the 1 and the 2, but he only got him a 2.9 second count. And then this is when Hangman Adam Page was trying to get ready to do the buckshot lariat. He was waiting for him to get up, but Brian Cage. This is when he tried to suplex him off the ropes inside the ring. This is when Hangman Adam Page started hitting him with right hands and counter him. And this is when every time he started punching, he started curling with the ropes, like because this is what he's used to doing. Like when he does some curls and some lift ups, like. And every time he started doing this, he started going back and forth. That's when Hangman Adam Page tripped him over on the middle ropes, and then he landed on the outside. This is when Hangman Adam Page tried to go for a buckshot lariat, but he got a boot when Brian Cage tried to attack him, but it was too late. Hangman Adam Page got prepared and booted him right in the face. This is when he tried to hit him with the buckshot lariat, but Brian Cage intercepted him with a F10, but he countered it, rolled him up into a small package. We only got him the 1 and the 2 kick out. And then this is when Brian Cage tried to hit him with a discus clothesline. This is where Hangman Adam Page lifted him up and hit him with the dead eye for the 1, 2, 3. And then it looks like we will have a match with Swerve Strickland at the AEW's upcoming pay-per-view in October, which is Wrestle Dreams. And we're going to talk about that right here with Swerve Strickland having or not Swerve, Heyman Adam Page have a couple of words for Swerve. So he started saying, hey, Swerve, like, let's see right here. He was like, what? Like, what passion, what a drive. Swerve, you brooded on the top of the mountain, and then I kick. What's that? Let's see right here. You brooded on the top of the ramp, and then watch me, your big man's ass. And that's when the fans started chanting like, "Yay!" And then Heyman Adam Page like, last week, like, you wanted my spot. You said I want my vision in this company. And you said, yeah, and then you try to say you're gonna fight me yourself. And last week, for 1 second, we said the thing you said to me. I thought for 1 second you had some balls. And he was like, after the night, you just keep them stored away into Prince Nada's Burger King crown. I was like, damn. And this is more hilarious when The Rock called Baron Corbin. He looked like a broke ass Burger King on crack. Like, but anyways, but I was like, damn, like, yeah, like, what is up with Burger King jokes in professional wrestling with wrestlers having Prince or wrestling or Kings or Prince gimmicks? Like, at least in this recent time in professional wrestling, but yeah, back to what Heyman Adam Page said. I was like, this is the most goofiest wrestling of the night. Like, I'm gonna put it as that, but this when Swerve Strickland responded back saying, "What up, what up, turn?" Like, or what he said? He said, "What up?" What up, turd? Yeah, that's what he said. What up, turd? And that just sound like Yeah, that don't sound like fighting to me, Heyman. Oh yeah, you thought this was gonna be soft tonight? You must be stupider than the Cincinnati's education system as well. I was like, well, I kind of don't disagree with him on one thing about what he said about Cincinnati. Like, with all due respect, like I'm just not a fan of them, and not to mention that I'm not a fan of their football team in the NFL. Like, I'm all about the Red Kingdom, baby. Just look at my red cape and mask. But yeah, that's a story for another day if I ever made a football video. But for now, this is a wrestling video. But I just want to make sure let everybody know that I'm not much of a Cincinnati fan, with all due respect. But I say whatever heel that mentions about Cincinnati, I'll say is not half bad or true. But I'm gonna be a professional and respectfully say that, like, about my opinion. But anyway, Swerve Strickland was like, but when I have a match, when I say and where I say, and it so happens it's gonna be at my hometown. I'm gonna choose my match at my hometown, the upcoming AEW event in Seattle, Washington. And yes, sir, that's where AEW Wrestle Dreams is going to be at. Make sure y'all check that out for those who's going to be prepared to watch it. But if not, then we'll just hear the recap on the wrestling news from those who watched the show. But who do you think could possibly win? Do you think it's going to be Hangman and he's going to go back to his path of being the AEW World Champion, or is it going to be Swerve Strickland who's going to win? And we could possibly going to see him as a future AEW World Champion in the next year or two. Yeah. And I believe he probably will be the first ever African-American AEW champion, just not right now. And I'll say now I made that decision. Like, he's going to be, and then the second ever probably Scorpio Sky. But that's another story for another day. Who do you think that'll be the first ever African-American champion in that matter? For viewers who watching that agree or disagree, y'all let me know down in the comments. I'd like to hear y'all's opinions. But he's like, which is the great girls state that gave birth to good old Strickland. Yeah. I'm gonna make sure you're not gonna get comfortable when the time you get there. I'm gonna tune you up a little bit, and then I'm gonna tune you up and get you out of your comfort zone. Like now, Brian Cage, and then that's when Brian Cage came out, attacked him from behind, and trying to dismantle him. Even Prince Nala started joining him, started stomping on him, and that's when Prince Nala started to do that dance. I was like, what the hell kind of dance is this? Like, it looked like kind of dance that Childish Gambino do, aka Donald Glover. Like this, like when he does a dance like this, like similar to that song "This Is America," I believe. But yeah, me and my mom and sister was cracking jokes on that when we were watching AEW Dynamite tonight. We thought, like, what the? And it was like also Stokely Hathaway would do that wherever he's been, which I'll say he's clearly doing managing duties into Ring of Honor, which the last time I heard about him. But I think he should. But if he comes back to AEW television, he should be the second manager or assistant manager of the Mortal Embassy. And I was like, what kind of dance is like this? Like, and then my mom's like, your guess is as good as mine. This is when Nick and Matt Jackson came from behind. This is when he continued to start doing the dance. I was like, this is more cringier than Daniel Garcia's dance. And then I was like, you do not want to turn. And then that's what made me start saying, you do not want to turn around, Prince Nana. And then this is when he disobeyed me, like, which obviously he didn't disobey me. It was just a joke, like, because it was like if I was actually talking to him, even though he couldn't hear me, because obviously he's in Cincinnati on TV while I'm here where I make the SNA podcast while I was watching AEW Dynamite. But yeah, this is where Nick and Matt Jackson came out, and they double super kicked him. Looked like what the Usos did to Roman Reigns. He sold it like a champ. Like, even though he don't look like a champ, but he sold it like one. Sold it like a champ from taking that double super kick, and then he started kicking his legs back up like if he got hit with a pop-up power bomb from Kevin Owens, which I'll say I guess you could take this as a nod to the Mount Rushmore with them and him and Adam Cole. But unfortunately, that we won't see that faction in either AEW nor WWE because they sign multi-year deals in their respective companies. So if either man left and jump ship on one and go to the other company, they're going to have to wait for another few years for them to do so. But this is when the Young Bucks start mocking them, start doing the dance themselves, and then I started doing it. I was like, where does Prince Nana get these dances from? But yeah, they had the Mortal Embassy packing and running away and then going straight to Swerve Strickland, which I was thinking like this could easily turn into some kind of a 6-man tag match with Swerve Strickland and Hangman Adam Page. And Hangman Adam Page and the Young Bucks taking on I would say the trios guys, like the guys that are the AEW trios champions, Hangman Adam Page and those Samoan brothers. I forget their names. I remember their last names for sure, but I just need to go back and see what is their names that Brian Cage are reigning trios championships with. But yeah, something tells me it's going to be a match like that in 7 days from now at Dynamite. Y'all let me know about my opinion down in the comments below. We're going to get to the backstage interview with Daniel Garcia, about asking him about his opinion about his former allies, Jericho and Sammy Guevara in their match. He was like, look, he was like, I'm sorry to interrupt you, but I'm going to have to run you out on that because I thought you were coming here to tell about me, not about Jericho. Like everybody else, like Chris Jericho, Sammy Guevara, Arizona Cardinals. And he even pointed out that everybody outside of professional wrestling, including the Arizona Cardinals, started doing my dance, which is like this. Or like this. Or whatever he doesn't like, but rumor has it that he got his dance from Britney Spears, but I don't know about that. I thought you originally came up with that. Like it may be cringy, but original. But he does that. But he does, yeah. But yeah, he was telling Renee Paquette that that the Arizona Cardinals were acknowledging his dance, acknowledging him with that dance he does, like he does every single week, like which is this dance, like wherever it goes, like. But speaking of that dance, he was getting ready to do that dance for some reason, which I'm gonna talk about right here very shortly. He was like even and everybody else on all over social media is making that into a meme. Yeah. Hello. Get your ass out of there. Hello, Trey. Yeah. I introduced you to my big brother Grizz and my nephew Trey. But anyways, this is where he started doing, and he's like, "Why won't talk about like what he said? Like he's a 4-time. Let's see." He's doing it when they got a sack, from the defense. And I went viral 4 times in 1 month. I've been going viral for 4 months because of that, and for 1 month only. And I love the career about Daniel Garcia. I just keep climbing up in the mountain. And this when Don Cal said, "Wow, I'm impressed." Like I know for being Jericho's best friend for 34 years, and it's all about him. And then he's the ultimate narcissist. And we're constructing you, and we're gonna be married, obviously. And then each member for himself. And And this is when he tried to manipulate Daniel Garcia of joining him. And this is when he's like, say no more. And he started doing his dances, like doing that dance. He was like, and he clutched his fist, and he was like, making it known that he's not interested of joining Don Callis. I was like, what's up with him shaking his hips and moving forward with his pelvis area? Like, that's very like, let's hope he's not having kids doing that, because their parents will be like, where the hell you learn that from? Like who does that dance? Like heck, I'm overage right now, and every time I do that dance right in front of my mom, she was like, okay, like where did this young guy got that dance from? Like, because it was way too inappropriate for anybody to do, like, even if you are overage. And then that's when Don Callis like, that's money what I'm looking at. Like I'm going to chase after him. Like, but what if he's not interested? Like, I'm not saying that he isn't going to be. Like, I'm just saying, like, in a general statement, like, what if Daniel Garcia do not want to join your Don Callis family, like, or the family of Don Callis, which is him, like you got to have some kind of a plan, like who would team with you, like, and be your clients. And be like a more worse AEW version of Paul Heyman. But anyways, I think he might finally will brainwash Daniel Garcia, but not only him. He'll do to the rest of the former Jericho Appreciation Society. Like, it'll be with both with him, Jake Hager, Daddy Magic Matt Menard, and Cool Hand Angelo Parker, and Anna Jay. Which we'll probably see that, and then we'll see Sammy Guevara and Jericho possibly going to join forces with Kenny Omega and the rest of the Elite to take on the Don Callis family. But that remains to be seen, probably in the next month or so. But yeah, y'all continuing to let me know about that down in the comments below. We're gonna move on to the next. We're going to move on to this recap with Jade Cargill making a return. And then it's been confirmed ever since she made a return, and been confirmed, like when she hit Chris Statlander with the Jaded and holding up the TBS championship. We're going to see this match this Friday at Rampage. I'm like, of all shows, like, why would it be on the C show? Like, no disrespect for the AEW Rampage show, because this championship match looked like it will be either on a Dynamite or Collision. But either way, it's going to probably be a great match. They probably need it for ratings and for people to watch AEW Rampage along with watching the main shows like Collision and Dynamite. That all the AEW fans just to have something to watch, have something of a big deal. I'd say if you're going to do that, you might as well make this the main event, because this could be like, this is like more bigger than huge, more huge than it could be a typical. It could be like just to be any typical wrestling match, like to be on the mid card. This is too big to be in the mid card. But yeah, most of y'all would agree about me if you had to watch this on Rampage. This should definitely be in the main event. For one simple fact, it's the main event, and it's telling a story that about Jade Cargill lost her title because of Chris Statlander, and she also was injured after doing the job to the residential female alien. But anyways, this is where we have a match with Nick Wayne against Matt Menard and Cool-Hand Ange. But I'll say this match lasted less than 10 minutes, because even though that the 2.0 guys started double teaming Nick Wayne in an unfair situation by putting him in the corner, stomping a mud hole in his chest, hitting him with sidewalk slams, and running a stomp, which didn't make no sense. And this is when the Irish whipped him right into Cool Hand Ange and then tagged him in there. This is when Cool Hand started hitting him with a right hand right into his gut. This is where what he screamed to the fans. He screamed, as soon as Matt Menard tagged in Cool Hand Ange, hit him with a right hand. He hit him with a suplex. He's like, what the hell I'm doing with my hair? Or not the hair, like something. Who the hell is a hair of me or something? I don't know. I'll say he shot something to the like, boo. This is where he flips him, Nick Wayne up when he tags in, what's his name? Matt Menard. Matt Menard tried to do that. He counters that. He hits him with a step up instigiri. This is where he finally tags in Darby Allin. This is where he tries to tag in, but Anna Jay distracted the referee, Aubrey Edwards. But Matt Menard attacks Nick Wayne. This is where they were continuing to beat up poor Nick Wayne, like into the ground, even though luckily it wasn't into a bloody mess like what AR Fox and Swerve Strickland did. But I was like, you can understand why Nick Wayne's not friends with AR Fox, but that's a story for another day. But this right here, I think, right here with Cool Hand Ange hit him with a swinging back suplex right into Nick Wayne, but it only got him the 2 count. This is what he got him frustrated. This is when he tags in Matt Menard, starts stomping on him, start talking rubbish to him. This is where he tags Angelo Parker back in the ring. This is where he held him for Cool Hand Ange to forearm him right in the face. And then they're continuing to do this until Nick Wayne came back. He elbows. He hits what's his name? Matt Menard with a running uppercut. And this is when Cool Hand Ange tried to get back in the ring. It's when he tried to go for some kind of a fly spear, but he went right on time. Did a most amazing front flip that any wrestler could have ever done. Like, not even Ricochet could have done this. Like, it was so beautiful. The way it looked like a picture perfect photo for a wrestling spot, like of showing some big wrestling moments. Like the way Nick Wayne did the most perfectionist front flip into right over the Cool Hand Ange man. And this is when Darby Allin got tagged in. He hits him with a springboard double coffin drop right into both Angelo Parker and Matt Menard. This is when he started hitting them with running back attacks to both men until Darby Allin was like, come here to the Matt Menard with a conscious Matt Menard. Like, this is where he tried to attack him. This is where he moved out of the way. He accidentally clotheslines poor Angelo Parker. This is where Darby Allin went to the other side, and he hits him with both of them with a double drop kick, a running drop kick right into the corner. This is where Darby Allin ducks from Angelo Parker's clothesline. This is where he started hitting him with a double slap and a shove to his belly, and then this is where he hits that roll, and then hits him with a sunset flip, which I believe that's a signature move because it is a signature move because even while I played AEW Fight Forever as Darby Allin, he does that move, like the double slap, shove to the midsection. He rolls over to the other side, go back and hit his opponents with a sunset flip, code red sunset flip slam. But it only got him a 2 count for tonight. This is where Darby Allin had him in a back position, back to belly position, I should say. This is where he tried to hold on to him to that position, reverse and hit him with a back to belly move, but he pushed him right to his corner with Nick Wayne. Nick Wayne tags himself into the match. This is where he hits him with a springboard cutter right on the top rope, looking like a Cody cutter. It looked exactly like if he was Cody Rhodes, but he nearly got the win. But Matt Menard pulled onto the Nick Wayne's leg. This is where Darby Allin saw this, and then he was trying to get up and trying to gain his balance because he was stumbling and he was holding on to the ropes. This is where Darby Allin hits a with a senton, a rolling senton right off the apron. Looked like Kevin Owens' cannonball. Like he knocks him down with that with Matt Menard. He gets back in the ring. This is where he tags in Nick Wayne. He tags himself back in the match. This is where they did a double diving move with Nick Wayne hitting the moonsault on the outside right onto Matt Menard while Darby Allin hits a coffin drop right into in the inside of the ring to the cool hand Angelo Parker. This is where he got the 1, 2, 3, and before they have a chance to celebrate, like this is when Christian Cage came out. This is where he started saying, like, Nick, like I've looked in your mom's DMs and on Instagram. Or not DMs. I looked at him, not DMs. He looked at his mom's Instagram profile. That's what Christian Cage said. And then this one, he's like Cincinnati, do me a favor, shut your damn mouth. I was like, wow, this is the second time I heard someone said something insulting to Cincinnati, like which I would agree with both men for that matter, like for the fact that I'm not a big Cincinnati fan. But anyways, back to professionalism. We're going to talk about he said, after I went home last week, I was scrolling through your mom's Instagram account. As I started cracking up. And he said, the only thing that bothered me is the first thing, your mom post enough bikini pics. I was like, really? Like, do you really have to have a crush on young wrestlers' widow moms? Like, why you want to be in a relationship with a widow mother of a wrestler, a young wrestler? Like, first it was with Jungle Boy Jack Perry. Now it's with, what's his name, with Nick Wayne. Like, why you're doing this, Christian Cage? Like, it just don't make no sense. Like, luckily, I'm not a wrestler that has that my father is no longer here. Like, because if I was a wrestler that's fatherless, like, and that's a goner, like, he would be trying to be pointing at me. Like, I'll be like, yeah, okay, like, what is up with you with this gimmick? Like, and then he'll probably try to scroll through my mom's social media accounts, but she's not gonna show him anything attractive because she would not like him like that. Like, the reason why she liked anything about Christian is when he was teaming with Edge, like back in the old days in the Attitude and Ruthless Aggression era, which I believe he split up with him in the Ruthless Aggression era. So I would say there's not that much talk about him in the Ruthless Aggression because that's when he turned heel. But anyways, that's the only thing that my mom would like about Christian is him teaming with Edge and being known as a big star in professional wrestling, whether if it being in WWE, TNA, or even AEW. With the times of watching it with first it was with my brother, now with me with him wrestling into AEW now, like, but what's up with this gimmick? Like I'm not sure. Like, no disrespect to Nick Wayne's mom, but I'm not sure if she'd be that much attractive even with a bikini on. But he was like, "Don't worry." He said, like, "Don't worry." She sent a special request on the side, which it looked like he's assuming that she had a private account that Nick Wayne doesn't know about, and she was very interested into Christian Cage. But I'm not sure any widow mother would be interested of Christian Cage regardless. Like, even if he wasn't a heel wrestler who was poking fun of wrestlers as dead fathers, like of wrestlers dead fathers like Jungle Boy, Wardlow, and now what's his name, Nick Wayne. I'm not sure, even if he wasn't making fun of them, they would not be interested in him in either way. Yeah. So I'll say that's not gonna work. And plus, like, on the side, like, how you know if it was really her, if it was someone else pretending to be her so you could be bamboozled. But that's a story for another day. But this is when Christian Cage was like, and now extends my victory at All In at Wembley Stadium at London. And so I was like, what are you talking about? And he's like, that's what pissed me off like since then. And then this is the franchise, as a franchise player here, and it's kind of embarrassing. So now losing to the Cleveland Browns is more embarrassing. I was like, I agree. And then I've even been pointing out to this, like all the top teams, such as like the Buffalo Bills, the Cleveland Browns, not the Cleveland Browns, the Cincinnati Bengals, and the Kansas City Chiefs have lost. And they were the number one guys in the AFC last season. And I was like, yeah, like I totally forgot about that. I was like, yeah, like I'm totally glad the Cleveland Browns did beat them. Even though Deshaun Watson is the quarterback, they're not the best team, but I'm really glad that the Cincinnati Bengals beat the Cleveland Browns beat the Cincinnati Bengals. They lost to them. But I was like, yeah, that was the best punchline that Christian has gave to any city of an insult into this latest heel gimmick. Like other than he's killing it with it, but other than making fun of dead fathers of other wrestlers, he's killing it in his heel gimmick. In his heel gimmick, yeah. And he's like, I didn't have my regular partner with me, did I? But no matter. I think it's time is to right that wrong. Because next week on Arthur Ashe Stadium at Grand Slam, it'll be you and Sting against me and my left hand of destruction, Luchasaurus, in a tag team match. Like in New York City, and that's when he walks out of there with the TNT title that he didn't even win. But like I said, we all know that he didn't really win that. Like it was obviously Luchasaurus, and it looks like Luchasaurus is going to lose that championship. He's going to blame it to Luchasaurus when he ever lose that championship match. And this is when we showed the Acclaim in action this Friday. And then we got Christopher Daniels and Matt Sydal against the Kingdom, which I believe the Kingdom's going to win, even though Matt Sydal and Christopher Daniels are stars in their own rights. But for now, they're going to be used as a sacrificial jobbing lambs into AEW on this Friday's Rampage. And then this is where Jeff Jarrett, Jay Lethal, Butcher and Blade team up against the Hardy Brothers and the Lucha Bros. And then Saturday, we got Claudio Castagnoli and Bryan Danielson against Ricky Starks and Big Bill. We have the Iron Savages. The Iron Savages not challenging, but the Iron Savages taking on the AEW Tag Team Champions, FTR, for their double straps at AEW's Collision. I'll say this, and either of these matches should be main event or mid card, regardless. And then they announced that John Moxley's going to take on Rey Fenix. And then this is when we had Saraya defending her Women's World Championship against Toni Storm, or former best friend, or somewhat of her best friend still. But I'm not sure if that's the case because she's losing it, like Saraya said. Like ever since she accidentally hit Saraya's mom, and then Saraya's fault for spray painting her and thinking that she would have done such a thing to her mother. Like, what the best thing you do is to forgive her because she wouldn't mean to do that. And then this is where they also showed Claudio Castagnoli taking on Eddie Kingston in the title versus title match. This is where we have either MJF against Roderick Strong and Samoa Joe, which that's up next. It's Samoa Joe against Roderick Strong, which we're going to get short and sweet to the point because it's been almost 2 hours I made this video. I'm going to talk about. And then, man, if I couldn't get any wrong into wrestling, like I said, my number one prediction that was successfully right and correct was the Toni Storm, like with Toni Storm winning and taking on Saraya. And whoever wins this match is going to confirm that Toni Storm is out of the Outcast group. Either way, but we're going to see at this in 7 days from now at AEW's Grand Slam event. But y'all let me know what's the outcome is going to be down in the comments below. Which I have a couple of outcomes that's probably gonna happen. Like and probably see a couple of twist and surprise, if you know what I mean. If not, then we'll see in 7 days, and and if it happens, I'm gonna tell you what I mean on the next video of part 6 of the SNA podcast's AEW Dynamite review. But anyways, this is where Roderick Strong. This is what I'm gonna point out why I remember. He mid-rope drop kick to Samoa Joe. Samoa Joe kicks out of it, and then Roderick Strong. This is when Roderick Strong hits him with a stomp. And then this is when he's like, "You're not gonna defeat me, Joe. I'm gonna mess up your neck like when you did when you injured my neck back a couple months ago." And he started twisting it back, and the referee's like, "Now, don't go overboard. Just do your job. Just in the head." And he's like, "You Samoa Joe, you let me know if you submit or not." And this was Samoa Joe went with the second option because he clearly not gonna lose that easily. This is where he hits him in the gut. He hits him with a gut buster. This is where he boots him right in the face. This is when Samoa Joe hits a running senton right into Roderick Strong's midsection. And I bet if Roderick Strong was skinnier and looked like when he first came into the wrestling business, he would have probably gotten his ribs cracked from that senton, because this looked like a move that a normal person shouldn't sell. And this is when Samoa Joe's like, "Gee, I know it's going to be very challenging tonight, but I didn't know who was going to be. It's going to be this difficult to defeat." And then this is when Samoa Joe thought of putting him right into the. This is when Samoa Joe tried to go for a power bomb. Let's see right here. And then this is when he boot him in the face. This is when he kicks him up. This is where he hits him with a forearm. And then he tried to keep doing it. Samoa Joe was continuing to go twisting back and forth. Sorry for me moving my legs a bit. It's just I have a little cramp. But anyway, this is when Roderick Strong hit him with a shiny knee strike. And then that's when Israel hit him with an Olympic slam, but Samoa Joe elbowed him. And then he tried to Irish whip him, tried to hit him with a slamming maneuver. But this is where Roderick Strong hits him with a flying clothesline, but only got him the 2.1 second count. This is when Roderick Strong was stressing about what he's gonna do. This is where he tried to hit him with the stronghold. This is where Samoa Joe kicks him off of him. This is where Samoa Joe went right to the corner. He tried to hit him with a hip attack and insecurity, but Roderick Strong was smart when he went and moved out of the way. This is where he tried to hit him with an attack move. This is where Samoa Joe counters him into a Uranagi. And like I said before I started making these SNA podcasts, I was thinking whoever should be doing these reversal Uranagis, it should stay in under Samoa Joe and Big E's arsenal, of doing that move, because they just do it very well when it comes to countering. And even WWE noticed this, and that's why they put it's only Big E and Samoa Joe counters with a Uranagi when someone's trying to attack, onto the game. Only them that has that option of a maneuver, of a countering maneuver. But I think it should stay like that into their respective careers. And this is when Samoa Joe starts saying, start doing this with his hands, saying with a yes. This is when Samoa Joe tried to put him up on the top rope on that corner top turnbuckle, trying to go for a Samoan muscle buster. This is when what's his name smartly interfered and distracted Samoa Joe, Mike Bennett, Mike Bennett from the Kingdom. This is when he tried to distract Samoa Joe, forearmed him. He fell right on the outside, so he prevent him from messing up his neck again, like he did when the last time they fought into the match at Owen Hart's tournament. Yeah, this is much better. This is when Samoa Joe was too distracted. This is when Roderick Strong got back from his dazing state of his consciousness, of getting back to consciousness. This is where he hits him with an Olympic slam. This is when Roderick Strong runs up and hits him with a running flying boot, a giant boot to the face of Samoa Joe, looking like a Claymore kick. Even though this is a different name of the move, but he's been using that move from the past few years, just like Drew McIntyre. But he has a different name of that giant, the running flying kick move. This is where it almost got him, but only gave him a 2.777, 77, 77, 99, 99, 99. Which I was like, how did he kick out of that move? Even though that's not like his main finishing move that he puts his opponents away. But this is where Roderick Strong tried to go for a running knee strike, I believe. But Samoa Joe hits him with a lariat. He could have easily beat him with a pinfall. But Samoa Joe's like, nope, I'm just going to end it by making this a strong victory, with me hitting the Coquina clutch. But and he knew he choked him out, probably sending a message to MJF on what he's going to do. And Roderick Strong had nowhere to go, so he was like, I'm trying to escape. And then this is when Roderick Strong had no choice but to tap. I was like, oh, dang it. I guess I was wrong, because Samoa Joe was the winner, and he was victorious. And he's going to be the one that's going to face MJF in less than 7 days from now, in a week even, for his AEW title. And this is going to give me some kind of a different kind of prediction into this matter. I was like, I have a theory, Samoa Joe's gonna he's gonna face Samoa Joe, I guess, now, and then but MJF's still gonna retain that championship guaranteed, with Roderick Strong interfering and arguing with Adam Cole, and even kind of screwing Samoa Joe out of the match, whether if it's by DQ of hitting MJF with the referee looking, with him either supposedly accidentally or hitting him intentionally, and that'll piss Samoa Joe off even more, and it's gonna demand him for a rematch, and it could possibly turn into some kind of a triple threat kind of match, for the AEW title, or it could be like this, MJF gets some kind of revenge onto Samoa Joe for pushing him 2 times in a row, with him actually putting him to sleep, choking him out, possibly hitting his own move, beating him at his own move. Like the old saying goes, beating him at his own game. He'll choke him out, he'll put him to sleep, and then but he won't do it honestly, but MJF will try to do it honestly, because he's trying to get some retribution onto the Samoan submission machine. This is where Roderick Strong probably accidentally hit Joe. This is where MJF intervenes, and I don't say intervene. I mean, this is where MJF taking advantage of the moment of a screwy spot, I should say, of the screwy spot. This is where he's gonna put him to sleep with the Coquina clutch, jump right on him, and he said he's gonna choke him out with his fat ass head and put him to sleep. This is now MJF's word, not mine. I wouldn't call him fat, even if you pay me $1 billion, because I wouldn't say he's exactly fat. I would say he's big and buff. And this is perfect for him, because perfect for him being a big dude, like a big monster. But anyways, he tapped. But we had a post-match promo with Samoa Joe saying, "Oh Max, oh Max." Like he was saying, when he was in NXT a couple of years ago, when he was calling out Karrion Kross, when he was chasing him, and being on beast mode against the former NXT champion. And he's like, my little prophecy is going to come true, Max. And next week, I'm going to go to your backyard, and I'm going to come for you. And because I'm going to walk you down, and I'm going to beat you up, and I'm going to take everything you have, kid. I'm going to take everything, which includes the AEW World Champion, of course. This is where he walks out of there. And he's like, will his reign end? And that's when Excalibur asking this, like, and he was telling the fans, stay tuned for that. And then we're gonna find out 7 days from now. This is when Roderick Strong started arguing. He's like, I don't need that brace anymore. Like, and I'm not happy because I'm not the one victorious. And this is when Adam Cole came out. And I said, I guess MJF's right about one thing about him faking. I was like, at least right now. He's like, you can try to get some pity from Adam Cole, which I forgot the recap, but I'm gonna do it right now real fast. He said, it's not like how I am, but I don't need a brace to be the most greatest champion inside this company. Which I'll say I agree because ever since because when Adam Cole came out, that's when he started holding on to his now. He tried to do something to see if Adam Cole really cares or not. But this is when Adam Cole showed that he cares, and he's still his friend, still his fan, and he always will be. But he got to understand, he's just doing his job as team with MJF, and MJF's not as much as a bad person like you see him as, but. I'll say I don't know about that entirely, Cole, because he could snap and backstab you more worse than he did with Roller Coaster Cody, which that's what MJF calls Cody Rhodes. Like he did to Cody Rhodes back almost 4 years ago when he threw the white towel and attacked him afterwards when he lost to Chris Jericho and never have a chance to fight for the AEW World Championship. But this is when Adam Cole. But anyway, back to this story. Adam Cole came into the ring. This is when Matt Taven and Mike Bennett called for the referee to get the paramedics out. We need medical attention right at this instant. And this is when Adam Cole what? He was like, "What's wrong with Roddy? What we can do for?" And this is when Matt Taven and what's his name, Mike Bennett was like, "What are you doing? You should get out of here. You don't really care about it. Go back to Max." He hurt his neck. And you're pretending that you care, but you really don't. Because you're not really very much support. You should worry about MJF. Yeah, but he's still my friend. I want to make sure he's okay. That's what Adam Cole was saying. This is where the paramedics put him onto the little the stretcher bed, and this is when they stretched him out of here. This is when Adam Cole it was still arguing with the Kingdom, outside, saying look, I'm here to tell Roderick Strong that I am not against him. I'm trying to. I'm not against him. I'm trying to tell him that we're still friends. We still can be as long as you're not being jealous about me and MJF's friendship. And then this is where he's like, "Why are you even concerned? And why are you even here?" And he's like, "Roddy, I'm here." And he was like. And then this is when the Kingdom's not buying it. He was like, go back to Max. And he continues saying, this is when Adam Cole's like, what the hell's y'all's problem? And this is when Samoa Joe blindsided him and hits him with the Coquita clutch and put him to sleep. I was like, wow, this is not the first time I've seen him do this to Adam Cole. The last time I seen this was 2 years ago when they were both on NXT right before they left the beat. Before they left and went to AEW, I was like, this is telling story. And that's what I like about AEW. They tell story, even if it didn't happen, even if the program between two wrestlers didn't happen at their company, just at least not yet. But they're gonna plant those seeds, and then they're gonna continue their feud and grievances from their time elsewhere into the other company, and they're going to finish that story into their company on their show. which we could possibly see Adam Cole versus Samoa Joe down the line, because they've been teasing this from the past few weeks, and they even referenced about this is not the first time that they got into a physical I'll say altercation, but I don't want to say too much. I'll say into a physical confrontation. Yeah. But this is when he put him to sleep. This is where security and referees tell him, like, this is when he tells MJF on the camera. He was like he started breathing heavy. He was like, "This is what I'm gonna do to you at Arthur Ashe Stadium." Like, and they slammed him right into the concrete stage. And he was like, and he was hyping up, and then he was standing up tall. I'll say hyping up. I'll say he stand up tall for the night, and then this is when Adam Cole slowly got back up. This is where they started closing out the show. They were saying goodnight to everybody. Basically, this is how it ended. But I would say I'll give tonight's AEW Dynamite, for being such a good, watchable show, very watchable. I would say give it 4 stars out of 5 stars because it made me sports entertained, and it put a smile on my face, and it had me wonder what's going to happen next, not only for the AEW title, but with the AEW World title, the AEW Women's World title, the AEW International Championship, the Ring of Honor World Championship with the New Japan Openweight Championship, Strong Openweight Championship, when a winner takes all match. Like it was telling so many stories into this programming tonight's AEW Dynamite, and I would say I'll give tonight's Dynamite I would give it that much. Yeah, like I already said it. My bad. But how would y'all rate tonight's AEW Dynamite? Y'all let me know down in the comments below. If you like this, and if you like this video, please give me a big thumbs up and subscribe and click the notification bell. And I guess I'm gonna end this video tonight, and then for now, and tomorrow in the afternoon, I'm gonna do my usual weekly wrestling news video. Make sure y'all check that out. That's even probably less than 12 hours from now. Like, I would say not 12, maybe I'm probably mistaken. I'll say that's probably less than 15 or 16, 17, 18 hours from now. But wherever I'm going to upload the video, whatever time in the afternoon, make sure y'all check that out. It's going to be the SNA podcast episode 34, which is the wrestling news video, part 6, which I hope y'all enjoy as well. But I've been your host, Super Ninja Austin. This was episode 33 of the SNA podcast, and I'm glad y'all watched until the very end. For those who's gonna watch this at the very end, and I see you guys tomorrow in the afternoon, and I hope y'all have a great night tonight. And as always, keep on watching because Super Ninja Austin the Assassin, we're gonna be here 24/7. And speaking of the Assassin, he is out. Bye-bye. Oh, my bad. And